Okay, those of you who have seen my kit videos know that I like to use a modular kit strategy where each kit has a focus and I choose which kits go with me based on the needs of the occasion. And one modular kit that I like to have with me is a compact toolkit. And over the years I've assembled many smallish toolkits. These are, across the top, represent some of the items that I've been using in those kits. And I've continued to fine-tune them and to be lighter and more compact over the years. And if you're champing at the bit to see what's in this little kit, go ahead and skip ahead. But if you stay with me, you might find some value in my strategy and perspective on portability versus utility. And my goals, if you look over here, for this kit is pocket portability, reasonable utility, and to cover my requirements. And there's always going to be a compromise between portability and usability. Full-size, even medium-sized tools, even small tools like these have strong utility, but they're not as portable. And tiny tools, you know, like mini tools and keychain tools, no matter how well made or well designed, can't be used or are difficult to use for all but the smallest tasks, especially with my giant meat hooks. So finding a balance between portability and utility is the whole idea behind this kit. It needs to be small and light enough to carry anytime without a thought, but yet still useful enough to bother carrying. My utility requirements over here help me make sure that I cover the basic functionality that I want to have with me at all times. And let's just go over that real quick. External torquing, pliers do that, wrenches do that. So for this kit, I have an adjustable plier right here for one of my smaller kits, and I'll show you how I represent it in here. Secondly, you have internal torque, which is screwdrivers. So I have bit drivers, bits. I have a precision screwdriver here for this larger kit, and a little handle for those bit drivers. Gripping and pinching is also the pliers. Fixing a thing that's bent where you might not have the hand strength or the precision to get it back into shape, or something slippery, you need to grip it. Cutting without a blade, I'll talk about the without a blade in a minute, but cutting without a blade, scissors, also a saw in this case, but not in here. And really, let's talk about the blade requirement the no blade requirement for a minute. I keep a blade out of this kit for one main reason, so I don't have to worry about it for air travel and strict venues that I might go into. This kit usually lives in my main EDC bag, which is my personal item on a plane. And with no blade, I don't have to remember to remove it each time I fly or go into a venue that screens for knives. So that's why typical multi-tools can't work for this kit. And I've really never been interested in the bladeless kind, for whatever reason. Anyway, so then filing and shaping, I've got a file in here, Leatherman file on one side and a diamond file on the other side for shaping wood, soft metal, getting deburring and whatever. Then prying, just having a pry bar of some kind to get a nail out or to separate things or whatever. Then mending and gluing, so I have needles and thread, and a little glue kit here, the same kind of glue kit I have in all my kits. Retrieving, I've got thread, I've got a magnet here, I've got things to stick the magnet to, tie the thread to, and dip down between, say, a rental car seat that I've dropped my keys, or down a grate, or in a theater, or somewhere. It comes up from time to time. And then lighting, some kind of small light to use the tools. And I've also added attaching down here. I keep a small S-beaner, locking S-beaner in all my kits, one or more. Okay, let's start with the weight. And then we'll jump right in. Okay, 266 grams, not bad. Okay, the pouch is well, this pocket toolkit currently lives in a CountyComm deep cover clip pouch. It's pocket size, made of durable material. It's a simple one pocket design so that I can stuff it full. And I removed the pocket clip back here, just sewn on. It was a metal clip to make this whole thing more flexible so that it could fit the contents I wanted to put in there. Anyway, just, you know, a note on that, just use what you've got and refine later. You know, I've got so many little pocket pouches that I've tried this thing in and tried different kits in, and this one works. So use what you've got, refine it later, keep trying different things. Okay, let's see what's inside. I will make a little bit of room here and unpack it, and then we can talk about it. Okay, let's start with the mini pliers. These are Knipex 4-inch Cobra pliers, and these were the 5-inch that I had before, and these are the 4-inch. 4-inch fits in this kit, and yet they're still really usable. They're great. That's the external torque requirement and gripping and pinching, forming requirements of the kit. It needs to be adjusted for different size needs, so it needed to be an adjustable plier or a wrench, and also good for any kind of gripping needs where the finger strength isn't quite up to par. Next we have bit driver. This is my Leatherman ratchet driver. It's a solid little unit for screw driving anything from furniture to gear fixes. I keep a bit in it, a Phillips bit in it, because that's the most frequently used bit for this kit. This is a mini screwdriver that I got at just at a gas station one time, and it's got just a Phillips on one side and a standard on the other, slotted or flathead. And also in here, I have a bit kit. And this, you know, obviously is one of the elusive Muji containers that I can never find online to provide you with the link. I have some of the other kits, and I buy them at their brick and mortar stores in New York, and they just don't seem to be online. Anyway, this is the bit kit. So I should rearrange here. So interestingly enough, I was able to fit almost all of these bits into here. So I think there's 40 something bits, different bits. And I never know what I'm going to need. You know, who knows? It's hard to make a decision and bring 4 or 5 of these because, you know, who knows? And so I feel like if I've got everything in a really compact form, then I'm ready. It even fits the little eyeglasses, is right there. A little eyeglass, Phillips and slotted. This is a little bit bigger, so I've got tiny, a little bit bigger, and then bigger, represented for the internal torque. And just as luck would have it, this little Muji kit fits everything. I think it's 38 bits. Anyway, then I have a mini handle. This is by CountyComm. It's a mini handle for the bit kit, and you just slide it onto the back side of the, oops, sorry. Yeah, it has one side that works and one side that stops it. Anyway, and then you've got a ratcheting screwdriver. Pretty handy. If I need more torque, that's kind of the beauty of these little pliers, is I can create a gap right here. See that little gap? And I can slip this in it. Actually, I think I need one more. There you go. Slip this in it, and now I've got a lot more a lot more torque when I need it. And this works with those bigger pliers as well, with just a couple notches down from fully closed. Anyway, so that's sort of the screwdriver needs taken care of. And next we have tweezers. Let's first talk about this. I have this just in heat shrink tubing, and they seem to go together, so I put them together, essentially putting the tweezers in here and the scissors going inside the tweezers like that, all protected in heat shrink tubing so that they're all contained. So anyway, I can take that out now, show you. Tweezers for pinching and gripping, this requirement. Removing splinters, handling tiny screws, grabbing anything small that's hard to grab onto. And then the mini scissors. These compact scissors I commandeered from my old original Swiss card. They were in here. And they're great because Victorinox scissors have a great reputation for being, you know, precise, high quality, durable. They're just great. Now these are on the edge of usable for me. I mean, these are, I'd love to be able to fit these, but I don't have room. These are great scissors. But these will get me by in a pinch. But yeah, it's a little harder for bigger fingers. Okay, next is my grit-edged saw. So let me pull that out, and that's also cutting without a blade. So what I've done is I've replaced, you saw the wood saw that comes in this kit with the file. Got a file, and I've got normally a wood saw in this kit, but I replaced it with this little, just leave it here, with this little grit-edged, they call it a grit-edged blade. And essentially, it's I mean, wood saws are not TSA friendly, so I had to replace it with this. And a grit-edged saw blade, unlike traditional teeth, it's just an abrasive edge. It's like a strip of, metal sandpaper. It cuts by removing material and can actually make rough cuts through many different materials. So it's great for rough cuts in a pinch, and yet it's, you know, skin safe. It's not bad. I mean, you have to really apply, and then it begins to remove materials. And because it's not sharp, being essentially a strip of metal sandpaper, TSA shouldn't have anything to worry about with it. And of course, your mileage may vary. You might get an agent with a misunderstanding of the rules and a bit of an attitude and have it taken away, but they're cheap to replace. And yet I still have something that I can cut through things if I need to on the other side. Okay, for filing and shaping, I have this Leatherman accessory kit file, diamond file on one side, and just a fine grit, fine file on this side. It works great for shaping and smoothing wood, softer metals, plastics, removing corrosion, deburring metal, removing rust, even for sharpening on the diamond side in a pinch if you know what you're doing. And this, you know, file and saw I don't get much use every day because I always have my EDC multi-tool of choice on me, which is, this is Victor, my Swiss Army Ranger. And it's nice to have them as backup, but, and especially when I don't have Vic. So the pry bar down here, it covers my prying requirement. I have the CountyComm micro pry bar. They make a bunch of different sizes of these, and this little tiny one fits in this kit. And so it really satisfies the prying thing when you really absolutely cannot do it with your hands. And so, you know, scraping jobs, prying jobs, popping things apart or tearing into things, pulling out a nail, and it's tough as nails, despite its size. So next, for mending and gluing, I have a set of needles in here. Oops, there go my glow sticks. I have in here some heavy-duty sail needles by William Smith & Son. And I have 3 different sizes in there, as well as a sewing awl, which is the sewing awl, if you don't know, it has the hole near the tip rather than at the back like most normal sewing needles. And this allows you to punch through heavy-duty stuff and create a loop and then a lock stitch, much like a sewing machine does, for hand sewing heavy-duty stuff like gear and leather and heavy-duty canvas, or multi-layers of materials that the sail needles might have a little bit of a struggle getting through. So all those are perfect for repairing clothing, shoes, equipment, etc. And I've got the heavy-duty awl for anything that's bigger, gear and shoes and whatever. Okay, and then obviously what goes with that is sail thread. I keep 6 feet of waxed sail thread tidally contained here in this heat shrink tubing. I also have cordage in other kits that can be broken down into thread that can be used with these needles and all. And okay, then the retriever is again using the thread, using this magnet that's in the kit, and using either the scissors or the pry bar, anything metal to attach the magnet to tied with the thread, dip it down and retrieve something that I might have lost. Okay, so also I could just use the S-beaner, tie the thread to the S-beaner, magnet on the S-beaner, and I'm good to go. That's probably the simplest version. Okay, and then for lighting, I've got this mini flashlight. It's an old light. It's really old, this one. I don't even think they make it anymore, but essentially what you're looking for is a tiny little keychain light that will fit, whatever you can fit in the kit. I mean, I love this night core tube, but it doesn't quite fit in this kit. And there are other small ones like the night core tiny too, which is a fantastic light, but it's too big. So something small like this. Problem is, this one's gone south on me before with button cell corrosion. So I don't, especially because if you don't use it very often, this thing sat, off and on through kits. And so I don't trust it 100%. So I keep a backup just in case in here. And that is 2 of these little chem lights. And these little glow sticks are my last ditch lighting solution. A lot of things have to go south for me to need these. The lights in all my kits, my keychain EDC light, which is the Rovivon A8, which I love to death. My phone flashlight, my watch flashlight. If they all fail, these little glow sticks are my last chance to work up close with a little bit of light when I'm truly out of options. Okay, and then attaching, that's the S-beaner, the primary S-beaner, also for thread. I can attach. Oh, and back at mending and gluing, I'm sorry I skipped this, but this is my little glue kit. It's tiny. So it's a little bit of glue stick. It's got 4 matches in there, and it's got a striker. And then wrapped, holding it together, is what's called bee wick. It's essentially beeswax that is coated twine. I think it's hemp twine. And what it ends up being is essentially the thinnest candle on earth. You unwrap this and light it, and it just slowly burns like a candle, really slowly burning the wax and the twine. And so essentially when I need to glue something, I've got a glue stick, I light the end of this twine, I pull out, 4 or 5 inches of it. I think I only have maybe 6, 7 inches of thread on here of this bee wick. Anyway, I light it, and then I can hold it under the glue stick for as long as I need to. You know, the matches are really short, so those won't last. But once I light it under this thing, I might have to make a demonstration video of how this thing works. But anyway, I hold it, imagine a thread sitting here burning, hold it under the glue stick, and then I can drip glue onto whatever I need to glue, pinch it together, and I'm good to go. And then wrap up what's left back together. Anyway, it's a good little unit. I've already used it a couple times, and it's about as tiny as it gets. And you might say, oh, well, that's the same size as a mini super glue. And to which I say, great, but I have had super glue go south so many times. I have been through, I bet you I've thrown away 90% of the super glue I've ever bought because it dried up or, you know, something happened. Got a crack in the foil casing or who knows what, and it dried up. So I just don't trust it anymore. And glue sticks have been my thing for many years. Okay, so yeah, so that's part of the mending and gluing of equipment and things. Okay, so for some closing thoughts, let's see. That's my mini toolkit, my pocket toolkit, because truly it's pocketable. I mean, that is 266 grams of usefulness. And small enough to carry anywhere, but still handles repairs, emergencies, everyday tasks. And I've tweaked it over time to fit my needs, and I've been very happy with it. I hope this gives you some ideas for your own. It helps to list out your, like I have here, list out your requirements, the needs that you have on a regular basis when you're out and around, like I did, and then just build your kit from there. I'll put links to everything I can find in the description. Let me know in the comments what you think, or if there's something else that you would either add to this or replace in this, because of course I'm always looking to make this better. Okay, well, you can stick around if you want to see how I put it all back together. Otherwise, I'm going to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Okay, to reassemble. Fold back up. Oh, I didn't even talk about microfiber. Just real quick, the microfiber cloth it turns into yet another tool because you can buff things with it. But main reason why it's in here is to keep these from rattling too much. And now they're quiet, which is great. Okay, I'm gonna put these back in here. Essentially, putting this kit back together involves just putting in the biggest things first, and then finding a spot for the others. Just so happens this kit has a good place for everything, the way I've designed it. So essentially, you put in the pliers first. Actually, let me make them smaller. This, the sort of crotch of the pliers here need to fit that light. So I just have to make them open enough to fit that light. So I put the pliers in down at the very bottom, and I get that light, and I just put it down in there between the legs of those pliers. Perfect. Okay, next goes in the bit driver kit, the bit kit, and it goes all the way to the bottom. Sorry, the light's probably not good, but right next to the pliers at the very bottom. And then I can throw these chem lights there's a little gap. The bit kit is shorter than the pliers, so there's a gap on either side. Throw the chem lights vertically down there, and I get the pry bar, and I slide it down vertically next to them, and it kind of protects them. It kind of curves over the top of them. I don't know if you can see that, probably not. Curves over the top of them. Then next I get this little handle, mini handle, and I shove it all the way to the bottom down here in this other gap, and I put the glue kit right on top of that. Now, before I get too complicated, I need to slide the file and saw down the side of the pliers, and put the Fresnel lens down the side. And I don't even think I talked about the Fresnel lens. Anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, and then I put this little kit back together. Put the pliers back together, scissors inside. Okay, and then that goes in. Needles go in beside it, like that. Thread just can kind of just float because it's flexible, and then this little screwdriver goes there. And then this, last but not least, the bit driver goes bit end in first, just like that, and then I pinch it. Actually, I can put the magnet right there if I want to. And I pinch it, and I'm closed. And I actually like to pull this because it sticks to the magnet inside there, and then I'm all set. So for a pocket kit, that's not bad. Okay. Useful and compact. See you next time. Thanks for watching.